Should you batch produce your content on social media? Welcome to a new video. I got this amazing question from my Instagram DM, and I figured I want to make a full video replying on it. So this is a question from a dawn of time that haunts all the creators on social media, especially artists who are just venturing in. Should you batch produce, or should you actually do one video, study analytics, improve, iterate, and slowly move step by step into making the best videos possible? What's the pros and cons of batch producing, and what's the pros and cons of studying analytics and incrementally 1% incrementally improving with each video? So the answer, of course, is not black and white. It will depend on what's your goal and what format are you experimenting with. So when I first started in social media, I started with short format videos and I didn't batch produce. I was very meticulous with my analysis, with studying the analytics, retention graph, hooks, breaking down hundreds of viral scripts online and studying every single word, every single sentence, every single paragraph, whether they put a dot or a comma or a question mark or exclamation point, and how does that flow in a script? How does that affect retention graph? So I approach content from a very scientific perspective and figuring out whether my hypothesis is going to turn to be right or wrong when I implement it in my own content. So in the beginning, that's how I learned, basically. I bought a lot of courses, invested in a lot of mentorships. So I wanted to speed up my learning journey. And with every single video, I analyzed it relentlessly, like what is the view versus swipe away ratio on YouTube particularly, or on Instagram? What are the differences between platforms? How does the series part work on YouTube versus how does it work on Instagram? So for example, that's how I figure out that in my series, YouTube likes the series. So I left the part where I say, welcome to part 7 of making my short film. But Instagram doesn't really like that because I see the retention graph dropping. So basically, that's how I cut that part from my Instagram videos, but I keep it when I upload to YouTube. So all the little things like that, all do designing a thumbnail to I don't know, hashtags, all the little nonsense stuff that I later realized they're not important. Storytelling is king, and how do you keep attention and whether you evoke emotion at the end, all of that is crucial. And I couldn't batch produce because I didn't know what I was doing. I first needed to learn the craft, and then I could batch produce. Now I'm actually going into batch producing the short format content because I know what works and I know how to engineer a video so it has 200, 300, 400,000 views without putting any brain effort. Like in the beginning, it took me like 2 days to come up with a short video, 1 day to write a script, and the second day to shoot, edit, find music, and then publish to social media. But today I'm actually thinking more in terms of producing everything in 3 hours and seeing how it goes. So today I'm in that mindset once I know what I'm doing. Now, when it comes to my long format content, that's where I'm definitely batch producing, but for a very different reason. My goal here with these videos is not to become the next Mr. Beast or Ali Abdaal or Colin and Samir or any of these big YouTube creators that made their way with long format videos. So as you can see, these videos are not made to earn revenue ads or to keep your attention by having lots of B-roll footages, fancy editing or montage or any storytelling in that sense. So my goal is not to become a professional YouTuber, but my goal with batch producing these YouTube videos is to practice public speaking and to practice how do I get the knowledge I have about short form videos, about marketing artists on social media, how do I get that knowledge and transfer it into a long form video so condensedly, so clearly, so nicely wrapped, so it makes sense for you listening right now. So I don't have to edit a lot, so I don't have a lot of pauses, so I don't have a lot of brain farts. So how do I clearly output a thought from my brain directly into your brain without circling too much? And that is a skill. Now, I'm not taking the same approach as I did with my short format videos because the goal is completely different. I was actually trying to learn the craft, the art of scripting, writing, editing for short format videos and how to hold attention. But here is actually the craft is something completely different, or maybe you could say it's the same, but I'm approaching it in a different way. Here, my goal, my objective is to output as many of these long format videos and by pure repetition to become better at delivering value to you guys. However, with my short form videos, I didn't want to pay with my time the fact that I had a knowledge gap. So I wanted to speed up basically my journey. And I did that by exchanging money for time. So it all depends what are your resources, what's your goal, and what's your goal with social media. So if you want to get better at something, you can either do it by repeating it a lot of time and doing it often and learning from your own mistake if you're doing it alone, like I'm doing now with this long format videos. But for my short format videos, I didn't want to iterate so much. I wanted someone to shorten that journey, and I wanted someone to give me feedback each week. I wanted someone to look at that beside me, because it's one thing for me to see it, but it's a whole other thing when an experienced creator sees it after 10 years of being on social media. So I wanted that. And it's a completely different goal and a completely different stage of life that you have to be in order to opt out for batch producing or not. And it's something exactly what I'm helping my clients with. They also don't want to spend a lot of time testing, iterating, walking in the dark with short format content. They want to know exactly what it's working. Now, however, that does not mean that just by buying a mentorship or buying a course will solve all their problems, and suddenly just by paying 750 euros will make their video go viral. No, but it will save them a lot of time in wandering into dark alleys where they shouldn't go, where I tell them, no, turn left, no, turn right. This is what you should do. This is how you should think about this is how you should think about that. So not any course, even the courses I bought, even though those were amazing creators, none of them actually made my shot go viral. I had to make those shots go viral by applying what they were teaching and iterating a long time. Now, of course, let's say if I didn't hire them, I maybe would have made 100 videos, but by hiring them, I made maybe 30 videos, and I was able to achieve the same result someone would have achieved if they didn't pay but made 100 videos. So I do think that it's a matter of speed and how fast do you want to reach your goal. And some people are not in a hurry and they're perfectly fine into spending their time and energy instead of spending their money. But I always wanted to spend my money and save my energy and time for creation because I knew I can always earn more money, but I can't take take back my time and energy. So that's kind of my thinking process when I was hiring mentorship and investing into content creation and social media courses. And that's how I was able to learn and grow so fast. And I honestly advise you do the same if your goal is to promote a passion project, short film, animated IP, whatever you're doing creatively on social media. I suggest you cut some time and see what works and what doesn't faster. You can check the link to the program below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.